When I first started flying over water, I was terrified of getting too close, so I stayed high, shot wide, and rushed every single shot because I was scared of losing my drone. And it showed. Nothing I filmed looked cinematic, it just looked amateurish. What I didn't know then was that the secret to cinematic water shots isn't skill, it's trust. You have to trust your drone to handle being low and slow over water. And in this video, I'm going to give you the 9 specific shots I now use every single time I fly over water. Today, I'm filming at a beautiful place called Diamond Bay in Victoria, and all of these shots you're about to see were filmed on a beginner drone. Let's get into the first shot. This first shot is one that a lot of beginners either forget about completely or get wrong when they try it. It's the top-down shot. And most people, when they point the gimbal straight down, just move up and down and wonder why it looks a little bit boring. But the secret is to think horizontally, not vertically. So here's what I do. I'll start on the cliffs here with the gimbal pointing straight down and do a slow push forward out over the water, letting the texture of the rocks give way to the ocean below. And the second way that I use this shot is a slow lateral move left along the water's edge, just sliding across the landscape with the camera locked straight down. And if you do want to include shots where you fly up and down, then you can do what I've done here, where I start low over the sand and the rocks, then climb and rotate at the same time to reveal the wider landscape as it opened up beneath me. All 3 work here because you're moving across the scene and not just going up and down. And at the end of this video, I'm going to put all these 9 shots together so you can see exactly how well they work as a complete set. The next shot is one I use specifically for opening and closing my videos. This is called the wide push forward and pull back. And the reason I use these shots here is because when you're making a video, you're also telling a story. Most beginners don't think about that. They just fly and hope the shots cut together later. But cinematic footage has a shape to it. So at the start of my video, I want to pull the viewer into the experience. So I'll do a wide, slow push forward over the water. It draws the viewer in like they're arriving somewhere. Then at the end, when I want to take the viewer out of the experience and wrap the story up, I'll do a slow, wide pull back. These 2 shots alone will make your videos feel more complete, like they have a proper end and proper beginning. The orbit is one of the most cinematic shots you can get over water, but most beginners never try it because they're really nervous about leaving their drone in one place over water for too long. And I get it, I felt the same way, but this is where trusting your drone really pays off. And the orbit is very simple. You're just flying in a circle around a fixed point while keeping the camera locked onto it, and the results always look incredible. And I use 3 versions of this shot. The first is a wide orbit showing the whole landscape and environment. You get a real sense of the place as the drone circles around it. The second is a medium-high orbit over the water where you can see the waves, where you can see the waves and the rocks moving beneath the drone as it circles. And my favorite is the low orbit hugging the cliffs and the sand. This one looks like it took real skill, but it's simpler than it actually looks. The key here is committing to the shot and trusting your drone to hold its position, and the longer you let it run, the more you'll have for the edit later. So going low over water is where a lot of beginners get it wrong in 2 different ways. They either get too low and they panic or crash the drone, or they stay too high and lose the cinematic quality that makes this shot work. The sweet spot is about 3 meters above the water. That's my safety rule, and if there are big waves, you need to go higher to compensate for that. And there are 2 versions of this shot, and they do completely different things in your video. The first one is low and fast. I'll fly forward quickly, and the motion blur you get in the foreground is what makes this look cinematic every single time. You can do this flying backwards as well, but before you do that, make sure you're completely clear of any obstacles behind you. The second is low and slow, and this is one of my favorites because I'll fly slowly forward over rocks and debris just beneath the drone, and that slow, deliberate movement over the texture of the landscape creates real mood in your video. Where the low and fast shot creates excitement, the low and slow creates calm. Okay, here's a shot that immediately gives away whether someone is a beginner or not. Most beginners launch their drone, hit record, and just rotate on the spot. And it always looks exactly like what it is, a beginner shot. And the fix for this is very simple. Instead of just rotating, you fly forward at the same time. When you combine forward movement with a slow turn, the drone naturally flies in a smooth arc, and as it does, it gradually reveals more of the landscape around it. And over water, this always looks great because the coastline, the cliffs, and the horizon all shift and open up in front of you in a way that feels completely cinematic. So the next time you're out, instead of rotating on the spot, push forward at the same time. That one small change makes all the difference. Now this shot catches beginners out more than almost any other, and I've seen it go wrong, very, very wrong. When you're descending towards the water, it's easy to panic and lose your bearings. So here's the rule before anything else: line of sight at all times. Don't watch your screen, watch your drone. Now here's why this shot is worth it though. The drop down pulls the viewer into the scene. As the drone descends towards the water, they feel like they're arriving somewhere, kind of like the shots we did earlier. The pull up does the complete opposite. With the gimbal angled down at a slight angle, as the drone climbs, the whole landscape opens up beneath you, the stairs, the cliffs, the water, all expanding as the drone rises. It tells the viewer that we're leaving, but in a way that feels cinematic rather than abrupt. Now this next shot has a name that confuses most beginners. It's called the dirty shot. It's actually a filmmaking term that most drone pilots have never even heard of, which means when you use it in your footage, it's going to stand out immediately. Now, a dirty shot is when you deliberately put something in the foreground of your frame that isn't the main subject, something you can move past as you fly. The reason it works so well is it creates 3 layers in your shot: a foreground, a middle, and a background. And that depth is what makes footage look more cinematic rather than flat. So here I'm going to use this in 2 ways. The first is flying towards the stairway that flows down to the beach. With the rocks sitting in the foreground, as I approach, the rocks frame the shot and give it depth as the stairway reveals itself behind them. The second way to use this is using the rocks in the foreground with the cliff edge and the water stretching out beyond that. Next time you're flying, don't avoid the rocks and debris in front of you, use them instead. This next shot is one that beginners would never think of because it breaks every assumption about what a drone shot is supposed to be. I want you to park the drone, literally put it on the ground and turn off the propellers. I found a spot here right at the water's edge. I positioned the drone on the rocks and used it purely as a camera. I made sure that there was a rock in the front of the camera to dirty up the frame in the foreground, and then I just let the scene do the work. The waves lapping on the shore, moving in and out of the frame while the drone sits completely still. No propellers, no flying, just a beautiful cinematic shot that looks like it took real skill to set up. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to stop moving and let the world move around you instead. Now this next shot is the one that will get the most reaction from your viewers. This is where you fly your drone through an object to make the shot feel dynamic and dramatic. And if you rush it or get it wrong, you can crash your drone, so take your time, practice the line first, and only attempt it when you're actually confident with flying your drone. For this shot, I'm going to fly my drone through the railings on the stairs, threading through the gap to reveal the beach and the cliffs stretching out beyond it. The moment the drone actually passes through the railings and the landscape opens up on the other side is one of those shots that catches the viewer's eye. The key here is to slow right down, pick a wide, forgiving gap, and fly the line smoothly. The gap doesn't need to be tight to look incredible. Once you've nailed it, it's the shot that makes the whole edit. Now, here are all the shots cut together so you can see exactly how they work as a complete set. Now, if you've just watched that and thought, I need to sort out my settings before I can get footage like this, you don't. In my next video, I'll show you 7 cinematic drone moves you can do on full auto settings using the same location, the same drone even. Watch that one next. And there are 2 versions of this shot, and there are 2 versions of this shot. When you're descending towards water, it's easy to panic and lose your bearings. Can't speak today, blah, 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 rubber mouth. When you're descending towards the whole landscape opens up beneath there. Open up, angled down at a slight angle. As the drone climbs, the whole landscape opens up beneath you. The reason it works so well is that it creates crates. I'm going to crate something. I positioned the drone on the rocks. I positioned. Now, if you've watched that and thought you need to get your settings out, I can't talk today.